Unusual contortions, physical deformities, freaks of nature, the so-called circus and carnival freak show or sideshow became a major attraction for large circuses, carnivals, and fairs in the 18 and 1900s.
Oh, you're talking about anything from people who had no arms, legs, to people who grew hair or tattoos, alligator skin, you name it, they had them.
Tim is caretaker of the Circus City Festival Museum in Peru, Indiana. It has a small section of photos dedicated to sideshow history. Many of these life stories were filled with struggle, abuse, but eventual triumph. Siamese twins Daisy and Violet Hilton. Stanley Barrett, born without arms, was called the Seal Man. Lionel, the lion-faced man, his name was Stephen Bobrowski.
A lot of them, were put in institutions, like they'd keep them in a spatial room or lock them away and down in the basement of certain things, and that's what their life would have been.
Nancy Weeks, who works for the Peru Amateur Circus, knows firsthand. She's related to a Cole Brothers circus family that adopted such a child.
Her name was Jeannie, and her disability, she was just from the waist up. She was just a half girl, and she would do tricks and stuff on the sideshow.
On the road, Jeannie met and married an 8'4" man named Al Tamaney, at the time the world's tallest man. These so-called freaks were people, usually fully functioning mentally, and despite their limitations, often physically. Some of their deformities and the billings they were given to pull in a crowd can today sound cruel, even ignorant. Grace McDaniels was billed as the mule-faced woman. Robert Earl Hughes was at the time the world's heaviest human at 1,041 pounds. P.T. Barnum brought Jojo, the dog-faced boy from Russia, to the United States.
P.T. Barnum bringing these people on, these freaks and stuff, and he's seen an opportunity there, but also it benefited them too, to making money, but he did probably exploit them.
Nancy Weeks says the sideshows actually gave people a purpose, a paycheck, and camaraderie they might not have gotten anywhere else.
They had a life, which if without it, they would have just been, like I said, in an institution and probably stuck in a room and nobody'd ever seen them. They'd never interact with other people, and this way they got to be with people that was like them, and they could, understood each other's feelings.
Johnny Eck was billed the amazing half-boy. Myrtle Corbin had 4 legs. Francis O'Connor was called the armless wonder. Ringling sometimes billed Echo and Eco as aliens or sheep-headed cannibals from Ecuador. In reality, George and Willie Muse were brothers from Virginia with albino skin tone and long dreadlocks, unusual and unseen at the time. By the mid-1900s, sideshows started to disappear because of changing entertainment preferences, protests of exploitation, and the growing body of knowledge their deformities had a medical explanation, nothing mysterious or mystical. Creo Farini was billed as the missing link from Laos. She was from Laos, but suffered from a condition called hypertrichosis, excessive hair growth. Nancy Weeks says after the circus, Jeannie and Al had 2 children and ran successful businesses in Florida. He died at 50 years old, while Jeannie lived to be 84.
But it did give the people an opportunity to have a life, which they wouldn't have had. This way they got to get out, see the world, and they had a place to live and enjoy things a little bit.
So, while the freak show was crass exploitation, in many cases it provided purpose and paychecks. But it's a pastime best left in the past.